Dear diarrhea, diary full of shit. Just play along with myself and I know one else. You're young, so legit. Figured I'd do a quick audio presentation because I love you guys. Online family and friends. Speaking of online family, Katie Bug. Hey boo thing, how's my future wife doing? See, I figured you were kind of on the older side of things. But, gosh damn, hot diggity damn wham. Damn, blim blam flam. Thank you, ma'am. You're better than spam. You ever had spam? Like in the tin box or whatever it peels off. I used to occasionally eat those when I was on the road. They're good. But, afterwards you feel like you want to vomit. It's like nothing but like salt, chicken, pig cartilage, chicken lips, oxtail, and like it's held together. They probably add some sort of gelatinous, some shit that they scrape off the floor at a, processed food processing plant. Mix it all together and fill it in a can. Like it's probably in a paste at first, and then it hardens, and it's like, oh. It's just so classy, Box of spam. You got to eat it right out the box. But anyway. So yeah, you look fantastic. I know you're a runner. I'll have to outrun you. Just so you know your place, you know what I mean? You think you're better than me? Like anything? Woman, I can clean this house better than you. I can do laundry better than you. I can cook better than you. I can clean better than you. I can run farther and faster than you. So, anyway, you run for fun or you run for exercise? Because I used to run for exercise. But my cousin would run for fun, so there was at least twice, maybe 3 times where I ran 10 miles with him. And it's like, this is stupid. But anyway, at a decent pace, too. Ran 14 miles one time. Never did no marathon or anything like that, but anyway. So, speaking of ba-ba-ba-bas, hey, you're kind of getting up there, girly girl. You don't look a day over 30. But you do look 30. But you look like a good 30. Like I said, you know how I feel about you. Or maybe you don't. But you're a special girl. You're one of a kind. And I know every stupid, dumbass dingbat says that. Like your nickname that I've given you. Your term of endearment, Katie Bug. I suspect that this is probably not the first time that you've been called Katie Bug. I hope that your last love interest didn't call you Katie Bug. But now I am calling you Katie Bug. So that old Katie Bug that he called you, that's old news. That's stupid. That's dead. I am now calling you Katie Bug, and I am not changing it because it's fitting. Because Katie rhymes with lady, bug rhymes with hug, and love, and bugaboo, and boo thing. It's just a fitting name. So if your last love interest called you that, I don't know, you might want to call him up on the phone and read him the riot act. You dumb motherfucker. My new husband, your future husband calls me this. You dumb stupid fucking shit. Who you think gave you the fucking right to call me that? He calls me that. You know what I mean? Sounds like something a chick would do. I had a dream about you last night. What the fuck? What do you mean? What the fuck was it in there? In my dream, you did this, that, and the other. That's cute. But anyway. But, yeah, you know what I like about us? It's not the sliding my dick in and out of your vagipus. and your hungry camel toe that gobbles up anything that gets near it. It's not even your pretty face on the end of my dick as you look up at me with those pretty Katybug eyes and massage the head of my dick with your pecker lips, the petite little mouth of yours. Pop, lick, suck. No spit, no spit. Take your tongue and kind of do the dick hole thing with you there now. And it's not even you rocking them hips back and forth, sliding them butt cheeks back and forth across my dick. Face me, straddle me, butt dog proper, not butt hole for any of you fucking faggots out there. I'm not talking about the gays. Those poor bastards get a pass. They're miswired. Those poor bastards. I mean, love is love, you know, hey. You know, Sam loves Steve, you know, hey. Hey! Congratulations, you poor bastards. But anyway, same thing with the lesbos, you sweet lesbos, you know. It's like, congratulations. That is awesome. That is truly awesome. You know, oh, sweet tender kisses and all that shit. But damn, you don't want no masculine energy in your life, you know? You don't want, a musky, burly protector, you know, dude cuddling up next to you, you know, with his, you know, dick pressing up against your butt as you're just off to sleep at night. You know, you're just down for that clam on clam shit. Oh, that is wonderful. Kind of seems like you're missing out. But anyway, but yeah, it's not even that. Be it the workout bench. You know, really, we'll have to get you a cowboy hat or the early in the morning thing. You know, just a casual back and forth. What it is, Katybug. What I will enjoy most about us is well, I forgot. I'm just kidding. The cuddling. You bugaboo, you. The sharing a bed with you, you know. And I got a nice bed. You'll like it, you know. It's different from other beds. So, like I said, it got the future foam, the memory foam or whatever, just one, like, you know, sheet or whatever. Then instead of the thin sheet, I got a comforter as the bottom, you know, base. And it's a smooth one. It doesn't have any friffles or fruffles or, like, you know, how sometimes comforters have, like, thread patterns in them. And then I have, in the summer, I just have the one comforter, and then in the winter I have, it's like a thinner quilt, but it adds, you know, that weightedness, you know, so it really holds the heat in, and you know, it just feels nice, you know, if you have a weighted blanket. They actually sell them, like they're full of plastic beads, and it's like, you dumb shits. Okay, fine, get you a weighted blanket, or you could just throw another blanket on top of that. But maybe it's different. I don't know. But anyway, like I said, you know. Oh, and yeah, kids. So you're getting up there, you know. Me, I could go either way. You know, I figured whoever, you know, was going to end up being my wife would make that decision for me. Well, now that I know that you're going to be my future wife, sounds like you just made that decision for me. Unless you really want to try and squeeze one out, we'll just be the couple at the park with our dogs, you know. But would that be fair to your little rat? You know, like, what kind of dog do I want to get? Do I want to get, like, you know, a German Shepherd? Maybe I should. Maybe it's fate. I stumbled across a short today. I'm pretty sure I thumbed it up because I thought I might use this later. I'll go ahead and post it. It's funny, you know. It's talking about how German Shepherds are like the greatest dogs, you know. And it's like, you know, German Shepherds don't go for walks. They go on perimeter patrols, you know. And German Shepherds don't nap unless it's been, you know, established that there is no immediate threats. And it's just kind of funny, you know. And, you know, like, that would be, you know, kind of we'd have to buy like a puppy, right? Duh. Well, you could buy like a rescue animal or whatever, but who gives up a German Shepherd, right? I don't know. But, you know, so, and like I said, I'll build a little yard for your little shit. But and then the German Shepherd will be able to run, all around. Maybe we'll build like a little like box, like a trolley car. Not a saddle, but like we'll teach your dog to just sit, in the back of, but it'll be all rough and stuff, especially if it wants to run and, because German Shepherds are smart dogs, and smart dogs they're high maintenance. So you have to play with them. You have to throw the ball. You have to wrestle with them. And that builds trust. It builds love. It builds obedience. Because you have to be the pack master. I remember hearing that on TV, that show. I wasn't a fan of it, but I've seen it before that. Gonzalo, it was some, I forget, it was the Dog Whisperer or something like that. And I heard about that as far as like this one dude, it was Joe Rogan knew this guy, and he had a female wolf as a pet. And he's like, you don't leave, wolves at home. You'll come home and you'll find out that they are broken loose. But you can only have female wolves as pets, because if you get a male wolf, you'll always be in competition for who's the alpha dog. And one day it'll bite you and fuck you up, or some shit like that. So as a German Shepherd, you need to have that respect. And I'm just making this up, I just happen to know these things, through the grapevine. You might hear something, a tidbit here and there, about like police dogs and stuff, military dogs. They're always German Shepherds, right? So, but you have to do your due diligence. If you come home one day and you've had a bad day, because that dog is so smart, you don't get to just, just go away, just, sit on the edge of the couch or whatever. You have to engage with that dog just like you would your wife, and you can't communicate with that dog. So it's like your wife, or girlfriend. You can say, sweetie, honey. Don't call her sweetie, honey, babe. Call her by name, perhaps. I'm sorry, and you can do that. You can still, like be a macho, manly, burly boy, as long as it's honest. If you fucked up, and you genuinely owe her an apology, or I'm sorry I was a dick last night, or I'm sorry I ignored you or gave you the cold shoulder, whatever. And that's fine. But you get to do that. You get to use your words as a human being. You don't get to do that with a dog. I mean, you can, pet, and hug up on them and do the petting and stuff, just like you show love to your dog. Get your mind out together. You know what I mean? But there's still that dog, and you can't explain it away. You know what I mean? You can explain it away to your wife or girlfriend. And, you're on the same level. You're both human beings. If it's a dog, then one of them's a dog. So, it's like you are pulling rank. Might not be pulling rank with a wolf just because of the fact that it can fuck you up. Like I said, if animals only knew how much of an advantage they had over humans, even the family cat, could could fucking do a number on you. But anyway, I guess that's all I gotta say, baby. Is damn, you look good. You're old as fuck. And damn, you look good. And did you just not want kids? I mean, were you just fucking around? Or maybe you don't want kids, like I said, because I was kind of pushing that, for a minute there, oh, we better quit fucking around. If that's really how old you are, then it's like, well, I guess that's kind of off the table. We can fuck around as much as we want. Because you're not fertile anymore. You're not, for anybody listening in, she's not that old, you know, but it's just like, oh, shit. Oh, okay. Well, the hurry up just sort of turned into no. But like I said, we could probably squeeze one out, but, well, when I say we, I mean you. But anyway,